Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about Rolo Tomassi's new album, Where Myth Becomes Memory, and watching the music video for my favorite song on the album called Drip. Now, I've known about Rolo Tomassi for a long time, but I've never given them a proper listen until now. They're highly regarded in the niche circles that they run in, but the expansive sound that they're working with on this album, I think, is very likely to captivate new audiences. The album starts slow. It introduces the listener to Eva Korman's floating vocals, while the guitars, which sometimes resemble static, build the tension in the background. It's definitely like an intro song, and then the band's proper introduction comes on Cloaked, which starts with an explosion of sound and a really ominous atmosphere that sounds like it would belong on Blade Runner 2049, if you've seen that movie, where it's just these like really long, extended tones, kind of like waves hitting you and just washing over you, just giving it this really monumental feel. Switching between her ethereal cleans and her raspy screams, Ava is both the comforter and the tormentor, and the band, surrounding her at the same time is experimenting and exploring some really surprisingly uplifting soundscapes. Now, while Cloaked is the band's effort to make their heavy sound accessible, Mutual Ruin and To Resist Forgetting lean a lot more towards the band's history of mathcore and chaos, and there's also a few moments that border on black metal, partly because of the blast beats that are going on, but also because of Ava's shrieks are just like have this inherent black metal quality to them, and I really, really like it. For me, Drip is the highlight of the album for sure. The extended intro is really suspenseful, the instruments punctuate Ava's haunting screams, and it contains my favorite singing part because it feels more solid and grounded than the super delicate vocals that appear on other songs. I described them as ethereal and floating. It's just kind of like trying to grasp at smoke, the way that they just kind of float out there. It's like a little wisps of just like mist that run through your fingers. That's how I would describe most of her singing, but in this song, in Drip, I think it's a little bit more solid, and I actually like that a lot. On top of that, the piano's additions in this song are nothing short of magical. The track is a little bit longer, but I do not care. We are going to listen to that one. I almost chose Cloaked, but I just think Drip is the best song on this album, so hopefully you guys like that too. A couple more notes here. I think that the considerable talent of the members of this band could easily be overlooked if you were just trying to casually listen to a band like this and cherry pick one or two songs. You could kind of pick songs that would not be very representative of the band as a whole. Songs like Closer, you could easily listen to that and decide that this is not a band for you. And while I think that those tracks do add something valuable, that is not an accurate representation of what this band is all about. Okay, Rolo Tomassi refuses to be cornered into one genre. You can't just categorize them or put them in one box. They're way too experimental for that. And for me personally, the songs dedicated to those softer sounds remind me a bit of Deaf Heaven's last album, which wasn't my favorite Deaf Heaven album. They're another band that is really well known for exploring those types of shoegaze and ambient sounds, incorporating those genres into their music. For me, I really like when this band incorporates those genres into their heavier songs. I'm not as big of a fan when they have entire songs dedicated to it, because it's kind of spacey for my taste. But when listening to this album from start to finish, I do appreciate those calm moments, but I just wish that they had ended the album with something a little bit more striking than the end of Eternity. Of course, I'll say it again, I think Drip would have been a great closing song, especially because it kind of comes full circle at the end with the really powerful outro where all of the heaviness comes rushing back. So that's enough of me just talking about Drip. Let's actually watch it. This, once again, favorite track on the album. Can't say enough good things about this. This intro, I want to know, It's gonna be like a minute or a minute and a half, and it's just really repetitive drums striking you over and over again. But listen to like the slight nuances that are going on, and some of the background sounds like right here, you get a little sort of taste of a sample of just like some background audio that kind of builds the suspense and just really tense for this first minute and a half or so. I also think the visuals in this music video are so beautiful. Just all around, I think this is a song that encapsulates exactly what Rolo Tomassi is all about. Even here, there, it's almost like those alarms coming in. Right there. Right there. It's almost like a boat or like a horn, like out in the distance, you know? It's really ominous. There's definitely some parts of this where I'm just gonna take it all in and not say too much because it's just so striking and elegant. I love how raspy her screams are. So this is the part with the cleans I was talking about. They're less ethereal, less floaty than the other songs, and that's what I really like about this one. It's also just a nice break from, you know, how tense they started things and immediately jumped into all of the heaviness. And then we get this part, and it's going to start building again. This is the magical piano part I was talking about. Just so beautiful. Then it's going to come back into the heaviness again, especially for the outro. It's so cool. It's like a little bit more of that mathcore type stuff, just like chaos, like the instruments are constantly building and like reiterating, kind of doing similar things over and over again, but not exactly. Get the piano to come back in. Just the perfect way to build to the outro. Really subtle backing vocals from her going on throughout that part. Oh, that outro is so good. I think what I like about it so much is just the fact that all of the instruments were so chaotic for so long, and then they all sort of consolidate and come back together, and it gets really groovy again, and it just makes it even more powerful for an outro. So that's my review of Rolo Tomassi, new album Where Myth Becomes Memory. Such a good album. I think that song, Drip, might be one of my favorite songs of 2022 so far. I've listened to it so many times. So let me know what you guys think, and hopefully I'll see you next time.